Guys, listen up. Today it's going over making inferences. Making inferences. Alright? Now, it's a quick lesson, but we have to do this in order to get you prepared and prepped. Nice job, Abigail, for the fast test that's coming up. Millie, good job. Alright, so today is how we can use evidence from the text to make inferences about character, setting, and the events that take place in the story. So, we are up to chapter 7 in the book. Chapter 7 is where we're at. Alright? So today we're going to learn how to draw inferences from the text. And we're going to do a little warm-up activity here. Drawing inferences simply means using clues from the text to figure out how things that the author doesn't tell us directly. Okay, this skill helps us understand the story better and think more deeply about what we need and what we read. Okay, so the essential question is today is how can we use evidence from the text to make inferences about character, setting, and events? All right, on the board, which I'm going to shut off the lights, there are some pictures. Pretend you're walking along the road. What is it, Brianna? You have to sign out and create a pass. Pretend you're walking along the road and you find an old school camera, not a phone or anything like that. Saul and Axel, please pay attention. All right, you find this old camera, but you don't know who it belongs to, and you want to return it to the owner. Okay, so you find out that you can develop this film that's inside of it, and inside of this film there are these pictures. All right, based on the photos that you found, what can you infer? In other words, what can you make an educated guess based on the information that you already have? All right, this is all the information that you got. These pictures. Okay, these are all the information that you have. All right, now based on the photos that you see, what can you infer about the owner of this camera? Who is this person? How old are they? What are their hobbies or interests? And explain the evidence from the photos. So, what do you guys think? Raise your hand and think if you know.
I think we like go to travel.
All right, so let's answer the first question. Who is this person? They like to travel, because we see pictures of an airplane. We see pictures of a group of people standing in front taking a picture, overlooking a cliff. It looks like with a road map. Very good. Okay, how old do you think they are? About 20?
28.
About 28? Okay, maybe that's a little old.
24.
About 24, 22, 20, that's good. 22, 24. All right. And their hobbies and interests, you said like to travel. What else do you think their hobbies are? We don't need iPads right now. I need your attention up here. They like to go to concerts.
I think they like holidays.
All right, explain. Now, we see a car crash, it looks like, and we see like some evidence of an injury, it appears, due to the shoulder bone up here. All right?
Can I do it?
Yeah, let's put together a timeline, Leah.
Okay, they're booking the flight.
Booking the flight.
They're on the airplane.
They're on the airplane.
They met up with their friends.
Yes.
And then they went and they went somewhere. And then they went to the concert and they were like looking at the map to see where they're going. And then they got in contact with the leader out there. And then
She's in the hospital getting x-rays. Wow, that's a fabulous job. Give her a round of applause. I'm not going to write the whole thing because you guys have it on your paper for you. Shh. Quiet. All right. The morning burned so August hot. The marsh moist breath hung the oaks and pines with fog. Yesterday we had the same exact quote. All right? And yesterday we were trying to identify what the quote means, okay? And we were trying to pick out the diction, the syntax, and the author's purpose. Now, if we remember back to yesterday, what the author's purpose here is she wants you to realize what the conditions are like in the marsh at this time of year. And we underline burn, okay, moist breath, and we underlined those are the only two. Okay? Yeah. Go ahead. So, all we have to do here is make an educated guess on what this means. We're not looking at the author's purpose. We're looking at how to make an educated guess based on the information and evidence we have. So, the morning burns so August hot. This is not too far from what we experienced here in this climate in Florida. What's it like in August? It's windy. It's hot and humid. So thank you, Demaya. What you're going to write in the inference thing, which is already done for you, is that the setting is hot and humid. Takes place in North Carolina, so it's very hot and very humid. All right, the second one, passage number 2. All right, Kaya sprinted. Kaya sprinted. All right, to the spot she knew would bear the road. Surely Ma would wave from here, but she arrived only in time to glimpse the blue case, the color so wrong for the woods, as it disappeared. This takes place when Ma ran away, because why did Ma run away? Her husband did what? Abused her for the last time, and she's done with it. And she abandons her kids and her husband and leaves, walking down the road with those high heel shoes, right? High heel shoes and that blue suitcase that she has, and it stands out. Now, what is the inference there? The inference is that, based on the information we have, Kaya feels anxious and worried because she's 6 years old. Can you stop that, please? She's 6 years old. And Kaya feels anxious and worried. That's the inference we get from this. Okay? How do we know that? Because she sprints. And when you sprint, that's more than a run. Word choice. Diction. Okay? Diction. Word choice that the author uses. And she remembers that Ma usually would wave from this spot on the road, this lane going down to the main road. Ma doesn't wave back. Not this time. Okay? So these are clues that you need to know in order to make an inference. And the inference is that Kaya feels anxious and worried. All right? Now we're going to move on. This is what we're going to do together. Passage number 3. Aaron, read passage number 3. Okay. Let's take this apart. She knew. The years of isolation. The years of isolation had altered her behavior. until she was different from others.
Wait, is that the inference?
Which one?
Wait, I was asking if that's it.
This is just the passage.
Oh.
This is just the passage that Aaron read. Yeah. She knew years of isolation had altered her behavior until she was different from others. But it wasn't her fault. She'd been alone. None of what she knew, most of what she knew, she learned from the wild. Now the inference is, what's the inference that we're getting here? What's the inference that's tying this together, the clues that we have in the passage? What can we make an educated guess on based on the information we have? She definitely feels, Kaya feels what?
Kaya feels
There's a sentence starter. Red flag. Finish the sentence starter. Kaya feels blank from others due to her what? Let's fill in the blanks. What was that, Millie? Different. Different from others due to her what? Not depression, but what's the key word in that passage that,
Isolation.
who said that? Demaya, isolation. So that's what goes in the box. That's what goes in the box. Now your job is to fill in the rest of the grid on the graphic organizer. Jaden, you don't need an iPad for this, so you don't need to sit back there. You can take your paper, let it charge over lunch.
we're gonna be back here at room because